Okay, we are back again, another live stream on the Thursday, and I'm just playing around with Predator 3. We have a new version. And a new version means that we have some little improvements. We added, of course, this mic cloud bank, which was recently also available as a download. It's now also in the NKS preset, so the mic cloud bank is now also inside of it. So let me point out the new things we added. So what it has the speed uploading time presets improved, so it loads faster the presets, the poly MPE mode, so if you have a Rolly keyboard, so the multi-mode expression is improved. We have the fixed demodulation source to none, there was a little bug. Fixed problem with FX dial, sometimes altering others. That's a weird VST3 thing John mentioned. There's also fixed. Load sample as a single wave in the user wave page. So the user wave page is inside here. A user wave, and then you can load in a single one also. So that's of course a very advanced section for anybody who is into the making the wavetable stuff kind of things inside Predator 3. The other points, let me see, I have it noted. And of course, these points you also can read in the download page of Predator 3. You can see what we did. Default is MIDI out and side input is to off during the first install. So what we noticed, some hosts have an issue with this MIDI out or this side chain input of Predator 3. So if you first install Predator 3, then the MIDI output channel you see is off. That MIDI output channel is off, and the side input in this case is in mine on, but that one is also off if you first time install Predator 3, because some of the hosts cannot handle that well, or even don't have a side input option for an instrument. So it's on Cubase, it's with the VST3 version, and you can use it. But on Mac, we had some hosts which particularly had some issues with that. And some hosts could not handle the MIDI out of Predator 3. So, okay, let's look in the other subjects we have. Info in right-click menu showing mouse, shift, etc. So showing some information. So the right-click menu, if you over a dial, you can see filter cutoff frequency, information. Left-click changes value. Find value, of course. Shift with the shift knob. A double-click sets to default. Right-click shows this menu. Scroll wheel change value. So the value can be changed here. So you click the parameter. It doesn't work here with my mouse. It's I think it's the VST3 version which doesn't do this, and the VST2 version is doing it. So this really still depends on which host you are using. So it's not always working, this mouse wheel. Irritating, but simply a fact. So I think this one is a this is a VST3 version. So the VST3 version, at least in my Cubase, doesn't change cannot use the scroll wheel. If I pick the VST2 version, it works. Annoying, but yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes you have these weird things. So let me see the other points. What we have is Predator 3. In mod screen, clicking with Alt allows you to enter a value. So if you want to enter a value using Alt and click. In the ARP screen, it's also the same. Clicking the Alt allows you to set the ARP length, for instance. We also updated the XY destinations in the original Predator presets. And what I mean by that is that if you go to the bank manager and you scroll down, you have everything above 101 is the original Predator presets. And what we did is in the Predator presets, we make it that although they are the original Predator presets, they originally did not have the XY. This is a very dry hip-hop lead, but we added this way that you still can use the XY. So each preset has the XY address, but with some presets and the resonance, it went a bit too high, and then it starts to have some high peak in volume. So we also corrected some presets with this thing. So if you own Explorer 8, scroll down in the download page of Explorer 8 and download the installer of Predator 3 and run this on your system. Of course, don't forget to close your music program if you're running the always run the installer without having the music open. And if you have Predator 3 as a single product, yeah, log in and download the Predator 3. So some improvements inside Predator 3 are added now. So that's the latest news. In terms of update, we also will have an update for Punch-2. Also, we'll have some improvements in terms of loading, but also once it needs to load a little bit more data, like the samples in Punch-2, it will pop up a screen which will say that the preset is loading. So I'm checking in the chat room. Hello, everybody. I see the people popping up. Sound is good. Video is good. That's good to hear. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's values using scroll wheel. It's indeed a blessing, but you see here with the VC3, I need to ask John and Sajik about it, why that is. So it's a little bit strange because now I close it and then I would open Predator 3 as a VST and VST2. Here it comes, and then, oh, no, it doesn't work here as well. Or is that? No. Weird. I had this working. I don't understand this. So was it maybe another product that worked and maybe Predator 3 doesn't work? So here's Blue 3. Yeah, Blue 3, it works. Oh, that's strange. Beats me. I have no clue. I write it down. Maybe there's still then the mouse wheel. Strange. Here it works. This is Blue 3. I'm not sure which one I'm using. Let me see which. I think this is VST3. Yes. Now this is the VST2 of Blue 2. So okay, let me close it and then check how the Blue 3 VST3 will do this. Blue 3 VST3. Okay, a little bit noise here. No, VST3 is not responding. Yeah, strange, isn't it? But something we need to check. Could be that the software we use for the VST3 is causing this. So, so there's always something to dive into. Okay, so my idea for today was maybe to figure around and play around with the Punch and to show some of the models because it's really a drum synthesizer. And yeah, just saw in the chat room that you like the intro sound that was from the Synth Bank. It was a kind of typically I think that's a typically Juno sound. Oh, that's the wrong track. This is the R playing. A little fat sound. Yeah, cool sound, isn't it? It's called Let's Go Juno 60. Okay, so let's go to Punch and a little bit of the background from Punch. So that one is the wrong one. So with Punch, it will be the case in the next update that if it takes a little bit longer to load because it needs to load samples. Here it will pop that it is loading the preset, and therefore you don't hear anything at a given short period, and then once it loads in these samples, everything will be fine. Here, this one, a Fresh Punch, has a lot of synthesis. This is a basic preset. But I don't think that there's any sample on board. So let me go first to the bass drum. Here's the bass drum, and that's the model. And I think, and the snare. We have the snare, bass drum. Let's start with the snare now, because last time we also did so let me go to the snare. Click here, down here, you can click on the pencil and then opens the edit screen. And you see it's model 1. The oscillator the whole sound is built up by using a kind of tuning envelope on a oscillator and noise. So if I shut down the noise, let's make it solo. So this is the snare. If I get away, you only hear a pluck. It's like the skin on top you hear. This is the skin on top. And below a real snare, they have this metal strings, a range of metal strings, which causes this metally, this typical sound of the snare. And that's done by using noise. So that's the way you can noise. Well, then we have up here, you have a tone curve difference. So this snare looks, to my opinion, is more like a 808. And if I use another tone curve, the low one, it's more like a Korg one. Has a different sound. Now the overtone here has essentially some overtone harmonics, which is very often in a real analog machine, because of the component, there's a kind of natural distortion. So it's a overtone. And to avoid that this snare has too much low end, there is this frequency high pass filter. Now I make it too thin to take away this low rumble, which is not really part of the snare. So that one makes it a little bit nicer in your in your track. Of course, you have the length, and that's controlled by the ampere, the overall length. So, and then here you can control make it shorter, very short. This sounds a little bit like a old school home organ snare, or longer. And now you hear, if it's longer, you hear more the overtone. And of course, this overtone, you can, tune it. Of course, you can also have it tuned by this here. But the snare, I rather take it this way. So then the snare drops in pitch. So if I shut down the noise, so the drop So this is of course wrong. So the tick of the snare is not short enough, and that's done by using the curve. Then you got really this pluck sound. So if the envelope curve is not right, so we have very fast envelope curves. If it's not right, it doesn't generate this pluck you need. And by the way, if you change now from high, you hear the difference. I take the high one, so I make this curve more exponential. And then you get this block. And then, of course, you need to tune it. Then we have, of course, this noise part, which is down here. That makes a combination. Oh, and this noise pass has also a kind of filter envelope. You see here? Can make it rise. Then, of course, you need a very short. And, of course, open the drop. Now you get a bit weird snare, essentially. Here you see wop wop wop. Here gets a wobble. So the noise filter envelope is not that much what I would use, but you can add a little bit, that a little bit goes up the noise. I don't often use it. Yeah, then of course you have the filter. The noise filter is a bandpass filter, which was most handy for snare, because if you have a low pass filter, let me take a low pass filter. That's possible, but then you still have a lot of low frequency noise, and you rather want to have a little notch of this, or a little range for the noise to be playing. So I use always a bandpass filter. Now this is too high. Now you have, no, put down. And now you have a nice sweet spot. You could increase the Q or not. And then we have the stereo spread, which makes that the noise goes left and right. And you put a little bit offset and you have a stereo snare. Here it is, stereo snare. So then, of course, a stereo snare means that you have two snares, two mics on one snare. So, but yeah, that makes that you can do some creative things. So if I put unsolo here, so this is the stereo one. It's mono. Yeah, and then it's tweaking the sound. Of course, we also have the option that's in each pad you have the fold over or distortion option, and I always use the fold over because that's a nice one on snare. Fold over, but also you could use another one. So to give it a little bit of edge, you see here now it starts to, yeah, a little bit of edgy distortion. So that's how you can create the snare. So, and this is model 1. You also could take another waveform, but that doesn't sound right. So if you take a saw, that sounds more as a farting snare. Square. Sounds very distorted. And yeah, you can use a triangle. Or for instance, a user wave. But that's not loaded, that's one here. So user wave, you see here, you can. And that's still the wave which is in the tuning, does this down thing. You see now here, without the noise, you hear this waveform. But of course, the sinus waveform. is essentially the good one. And you can hear a little bit this fold over distortion. Notice it's clean. And then you have this little distortion. And so this distortion always is nice to give it a little bit of even analog edge of it. So, and then you could give it, of course, a reverb, room. So yeah, it's a lot of tweak. And then we have the models. We have also Model 2. Model 2 has then a additional click here. Let me see if I can. I'm checking here too. You hear it? There it is. And that's, yeah, you need to, that's fine tuning to have that one as an extra. Now it's too much of a synth squeak, so. So the click is an additional one, but that's a little bit harder. I can go to number 2 again. Well, the click is hardly to hear, so that's maybe not that exciting, but just play around with that. So these are the 2 models for snare. Then we have the additional classic snares, which are samples, and our own collection of punch snares, which are samples essentially. Brush it. But also here you can. Also here you can add it, of course. And also here the fold over can be interesting because, or you use the granular. This is nice. That's a nice snare, but more a extreme experimental one, of course. And then if you like it, you can save this. So if you say, okay, this is a nice one, you can save here in the preset, save preset in folder, and then you look into the right folder. So I'm going here down, punch, snare, and then you see there are already subfolders, and I would place that one in special 01. That will be the folder, and then of course I need to give it a name, and I would give the name. It takes the name of the last loaded preset, but I would say it granular light snare. So then this one would be in this list. So in the special, you see folder special. So there are presets in models. So I pick the snare as type. Then you have the folder with all the presets. Models, we have different model presets, you see. Long voca. Also a nice one. These are all models. And then the other ones here, you can go to clean snares, which are samples, which are clean, or sample base. Or this special one. There's some granular stuff. This is the one I just created. Wow, dude, wow. So yeah, this is only about snares, what I'm talking here. And you see the output is now, if it's a sample use, it shows the output left, right, and then you have a totally different control thing. And yes, the stereosphere, by the way, is also cool. So if you want to, of course, not for this piece, but you say start left, go to the right over a certain time. So you can do some weird stuff. So back to the bass drum model. So if I go back again here and then pick the bass drum, make it solo. Also here we have models, but then the models are 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is the most easy one. So you see this again, a tuning thing. You have the amp where you control the length of the bass drum. And it has a hold feature, so you don't need to use a compressor to keep the level very flat, as you can see here. Then you have here the tuning. Again, you can have a tune, so I can say. So now it's tuned. So the tuning is with the end tune, because this is the start point of this pitch glide, because essentially it's a very fast pitch glide, what you hear. If you hit a real bass drum with a beater, essentially what this skin does goes from very high pitch down to a lower pitch, only it goes so fast that you hear a click or a thick click type. If I change here the curve, this is essentially a pitch down envelope from the pitch. And we have also here low curve and high curve. And if you change the curve, then you get this click sound. And where it starts, yeah, makes where the click starts. Is it in a high frequency, like this, or in a more lower frequency? And then also here we have the overtone feature. And of course here you can also use some distortion. So it's really a drum synthesizer. It has samples, but also some very cool models, very high resolution. Now, Model 2 is the same as Model 1, only it has this click option, which is down here. And of course, this is the mix is between pink noise or white noise, or even a tone. Now it's white noise, and then you could make maybe a more noise click added to, which is more like a Simmons drum. Or you can say make a low rumble. Then you go to pink noise, and you see in the upper screen here in the readout, you see what it does between this mixing. Drop is an envelope. And now you have a noise creator, a low rumble noise. And also here we have the stereo spread. So spread close, it's the noise is mono. And if you open the spread, the noise becomes stereo. Okay. So you can create a kind of room to the kick. So that's the difference between Model 1 and Model 2. Yeah, Model 3 has a different build-up. So here you see it has a bass. So let's... And an additional punch, which is an additional kick tone to it. Get it? Click, click. So what you could do with this one is to keep this one more like a fall down thing. Also overtone. And it's even attack you can adjust so that it doesn't click that much. But here you have the additional. So this one has a different tone. And then number 4 is essentially number 3, but then again with the click noise. So that's about the bass drum model and snare model in Punch-2. So yeah, tweak around. If you see a preset, just go to the edit page. You can do it in different ways. If you see here is a bass drum use, you can click on this little pencil, then you go to the edit page. Or even if you are in the edit page and you want to go to a different sound, you can click here also on the, see this one on the snare. I can click here on the pencil, and again, I have the edit screen. Yeah, DJTH production mentioned that you can close hi-hat that kills the open hi-hat that closes. Yeah, the closed hi-hat closes the open hi-hat. Yeah, that's the choke feature. So if we would go here to this beat, let me pick one and make it go back to the original one. Okay, I think I need to do it like this. So let's see where the hi-hats are. It's a combination. So let me mute this one because this is more an additive one. So I mute this one. So if I go to this one, the open, yeah, so this one is group 1. So it closes the open hi-hat once it plays the closed hi-hat, which is this one. See, also group 1, choke group 1. So let me make it maybe a bit longer. So one, and the next one. So I go to the pattern, which is group 3 or not. Let me see which one it is. Maybe this like this. So now you hear that this pad 2 is this open hi-hat, but if I put a closed one, it's closed. So that's the choke feature. So because on a real drums, if you have the closed hi-hat and open hi-hat, that cannot sound both on the same time. Okay. So that's the choke feature. So that's done by the way, here you can also go to the edit page. So that's the you give a group 1 to 4. In total, you have 4 groups. And if you would, you could also do it with a snare, so that if the other snare plays, that the other snare is cut off by the other one. So that's what they call group. I think I have this also, maybe another pattern. I think maybe in this one. No. Let me see what this is. Yeah, see group 1. This is group 1. The why me closed hi-hat, and the next one is the open hi-hat. It's also group 1. I'm trying to make it a little bit longer. And now you see it plays longer because there's no other behind it. So then it can play fully, or maybe this one. And if I hit the, so this is the open hi-hat, and if I hit afterwards the closed hi-hat, so it cuts off the open hi-hat. That's the group feature. That's the choke option. It's in real, if you have a hardware drum computer, it does exactly the same. That one also has a choke, as they call it. So it cuts off the open hi-hat if the closed hi-hat is placed. And here in Punch, you can simply address that per sound if you have it in the choke. That's here this group 1. Yeah, and these are claps which are synthesized. I think this is a sample because it's reversed. So this is a combination of a synthesized clap and a sample clap. This one is the reverse one. And of course, therefore, we added this feature so that you can offset the sample. So here you see a line, because if I put this offset here, the reverse is not groovy. So I need to find the sweet spot where the reverse sample starts to play from. And now it's better. So that's why we added the offset. And of course, reverse the sample. And of course, by tuning, now it's again too slow. Also tuning you could do. Of course, if you change the tempo of your song, you need to adjust the offset of the sample, which is reversed. Yeah, and the other clap is synthesis. Yeah, here we have the Model 3 for the claps, bandpass. Also, with the repeats you can control. It has 4 repeats, and if you the speed of the repeats, make them too slow. Or this is the offset on the speed. So repeats are 4. If you make it 8, that's a little bit too much, isn't it? So essentially, these are very short things after each other. Very short triggerings, you could say it. So make it 3. That's already better. So 8 is a little bit over the top, but we added, but this case is 4. And then the repeat, you need to have the speed. And then you have the spread is again the left-right thing. And you can have also an offset for the speed. And these are little things we want to improve in the feature, because the speed is the offset. So you have the spread, and then you have the offset and the speed. So the spread makes it left-right. The offset makes that you'd really have left-right differences and speed differences. Where is my clap again? No, I lost the... Yeah, here it is again. So this is Model 3. And then there's an overall. So you can make it really long. And then you have the frequency. Randomize to frequency, make it more natural. So now you see it's moving around. This is random to the frequency, makes that it doesn't sound like a sample each time the same, but it moves it around like real claps, you know? So you see a lot of features in terms of synthesis inside Punch-2. So you're totally not limited to samples. So if I play again this, where is it again? Here it is. This is Model 3, but we have also Model 1. Model 1 misses the variation, the offset. So that's really a mono one. That's really a mono. This one is stereo. Then we have 3 with more humanization features. On the speed in general, the volume in general, and the decay. And then of course we have the claps, which are samples, the classic one, 808, 909, and I think a very old, a more Lindrum type of thing. And then we have, of course, the samples, which are samples. More special claps. Very short ones. Very dry. So this today a little bit about Punch-2. So I'm really talking already, I think, for more than almost 50 minutes about Punch-2. So I'm then not checking the chat room. So I was in my sound design talking flow this evening. So I hope you enjoyed this anyhow. That if you work with Punch-2, that you are not afraid to tweak the sounds, to turn these dials, and if you have your own kit, very cool. And then don't forget to save it. Then go up here, then save the preset in your own folder so that you don't lose it the next time. Okay, let's see the chat room. Sometimes I need more volume for one of these 16 instruments. Yeah, volume is always a typical thing, by the way. Sometimes if you have a sound very soft in the balance with all the other instruments, it loses its power. And if you have the right balance, it really the music stays. So balance is absolutely a very important thing with everything with the mix. So yeah, we also plan this update for Punch-2, which will load in these presets a little bit faster, but also will show here then if you think, hey, my sound is gone, is that it does mention, hey, I'm loading these samples, and it takes a few seconds to do. 24, yeah. Oh, that's not a bad idea to use twice Punch-2 to increase the volume, because then you got phase issues, Gerd. That's not a wise plan. Yeah, I would simply, Hannes, start with, if you have a song, then mute the other ones and start with Punch-2, and then add the other instruments which are playing around Punch-2, because the drums very often needs to be at a given position and volume. And it well could be that maybe if you start with first with a lot of instruments, that then add Punch-2, that the other ones are already too loud in the general mix as a whole. So that could be a thing to do. So to if you think, oh, I'm losing Punch-2, make it the rest a little bit softer and give it a little bit balance this way. Of course, the sounds from its own are very clean, so there are no compressors to push the volume. If you go, for instance, to the preset from Jamal, he uses that far more. So, for instance, let me see, if I go to the manager and take one of the Jamal presets, they very often have the compressor used. And you see here it pops up. It's green, so this makes the sound also a bit more compact, because if I shut it down, pushes a little bit the volume. It's a nice groove. Yeah. So maybe the other one. So now loading. Also here the compressor is used. So yeah, the compressor could use, or the limiter, the compressor, to make this sound a little bit compact, because with Punch-2, the difference between a very soft sound and very hard sound can be very, very big, and then you compress it a little bit so that it pulls up a little bit more in your song. Yeah, the sound quality Punch is very high. Yeah, that's it's Punch-2. It has a lot of features, but I think once you find your way around, it's pretty easy to use and lots of fun. And of course, one of the easy page is always something, and you see it is used. To make it totally wild. And you see, Jamal uses regularly the easy page. So yeah, it's definitely one of the most creative drum machines on this planet. I'm really not afraid to say that. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching the live stream. No, I don't see Tom. I see Tom is not in the chat room, but he will pop up very soon again. If you missed this live stream, you always can start from the very start of the live stream to see it back. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you did subscribe to this channel, you also can click the bell icon so that you, once I'm online, you can have a notification that something is uploaded, for instance the live stream or a new video. So I'm checking for the last time the chat room. Why Predator 3 has a low FPS interface animation. Yeah, if we go higher, the CPU will increase. Currently, maybe in the future, if we do it in a different way, the animations, that we maybe save some CPU. But currently, if you increase the animation too much in terms of refreshing rate, then really it has an influence on the CPU. So anyhow, as mentioned in the start, we have a new version of Predator 3. The loading time is faster with Predator 3. And also what we also did, oh, maybe I forgot to mention, we have also other play modes now. So if you go to Predator 3 again, so let me show you before I go off from this live stream. So if you go to the play mode, and just simply use this one, uses the arpeggiator, but I can play mono. But now we have the additional modes, which is mono low, which means if you see my keyboard in the upper, if I play an upper note, it doesn't re-trigger. It only re-triggers if I play below this note. So that's this mono low, and then you have, of course, mono high. And then if I play then low, it doesn't re-trigger. So this is the mono high. It only re-triggers if you are above the last note. And the same goes for legato. So legato low. You see, I play but doesn't respond. But if I play below it, then you hear it change. Okay, let me change a little bit here. So this legato low, and there is then legato high. I play down here, but nothing happens, but only if I play the note, and then above the note, the legato kicks in. And of course, here's the traditional, which is essentially a combination. So the legato normal is responding below and above. And this, of course, is very often used by lead sounds. I'm not sure if I have a nice lead sounds. So here il legato. So the legato, the normal legato responds to if you play below this note or upper the note, and the other ones, the new ones, are responding only if you play below it or above it. And then the polyMPE, that is for the multi-polyphonic expression keyboards like the Rolly keyboard, then this one is also improved. And then also the other things which I mentioned at the start of the live stream, that the we say that the loading time is improved. It loads much faster, the presets, and we also added removed some of the other plugins. Okay, guys, this was it for today. Thanks for watching, and enjoy creating music, and see you next time, Thursday.